right? You know I am. Bad news. My mom died today, and we were never close, but I was there. I was there with the prayer that saves at the hour of death, with the promise made by Jesus Christ through a Catholic simple nun, uh, another prophet of modern times. And I used to pass those flyers when God showed me in vision that it was my call, also this divine mercy for the great sinners. And then I abandoned him to preach. But anyway, so I'm doing this work for 4 years, which is numerology with finance and multiple other things, which I'm not proud of. And my mom was battling cancer. Matter of fact, I had a dream. I think it was a month ago, and it was LeBron James going from left to right, making a basket or something. And I looked at him because I crossed him one time in front of the Air Jordan and close to Dundas Square in Toronto. And I did a cross, and he was by himself, away from people, and somebody laughed when I passed. But I was very close to him. But I wasn't into this finance world at all. I was struggling through chronic pain. So real strong chronic pain. To go back to the dream, I looked at him after I think he scored, and I said, I'm gonna meet you, I'm gonna see you eye to eye. And then it was my turn to go to the basket from the line of when you inball the ball in your side from the team. You know, somebody scores and now you inball it basketball. So on the left, he passed me the basket. I guess I was the power forward, the guy who brings the ball forward. And then I said, let me pass as I went to the basket, because the people were like left and right guarding other people. And I passed the basket, I did a layup, but it went on the left rim and it went out. And I said, it went left. Oh yeah, and before, when I looked at LeBron James, I said there were 2 cigars. And around that time, I learned that my mom was in a palliative. I mean, she was admitted to the hospital real bad. Somebody told me, come pick your mom, bring her home, talk with the notary for the will. I was in Vancouver doing this book and finally got a place, a month. I repainted about 2 monitors at the table, and I was like, didn't feel going back. Especially I visited 2-3 months ago. She could walk. She had an inflation. You know, first in 2021, she had tumor. It's a pancreas, and it's terrible cancer. I didn't know. Did some research this week. It's like the second most deadly after the lungs, and if you operate, they remove a part of your pancreas, which gives the juice for digestion. It's a little organ in the stomach. And when it's infected, or even if you remove some cancerous cell by cutting a third of it, or sometimes they remove everything, you got like 1 or 2 years to live. So I remember in 2021, I visited. And then she was like, you know, it's winter. And then maybe that was 2020. And she had a tumor. I made her bed. And I was starting the sports gambling after sharing online. And this was my first time I stopped sharing. And God showed me how I returned home, like in a place, not the new household, but where we grew up, in an apartment close by. And man, it was a dream. My friend Robert was saying, go. And McGowan won at 750 odds, and I put $3 and I did the bet of my bet, and the voice said, "Leave her do her bet," and it was so like in like a living room for her, and she was getting this cancer or this tumor, and she said, and Tampa Bay and hockey, and then she got it out, and then kind of came back all the times, and I visited 6 times. The two cigars were a dream. When I think I published, and then on my first channel, and then I edited it to change the titles, and I cannot log in. So when the NBA against Miami in 2020, excuse me, and I had this dream of the massage of the woman, in Toronto, which I'm here this a lot. So there was some temptation, and then it follow up in my dream, because it does follow up. If you're good with God, it's dream's good. If you're more interested in something, the gift can be darker. And the massage was like I was on top of the woman. No, it was cell phone, CCP, like um, cell phone call. Uh, Man, I have to check my note. And the third one, the woman was on top, and then cell phone, tada tada, and then tada tada tada. So I knew that the third game will be Miami, and the fifth game too. And during that COVID, they would give $2,000 to people, so I didn't have to work. Because doing that, I started to be like completely artist and be well, I recycled myself with the painting houses instead of art, because I had an eye affected and pain, lost interest. Oh my God. And then, getting absolutely allergies on everything and people, never mind the construction site. Oh my God, I've been through everything. My face took a toll. Now my mom, I went, and believe me, I didn't touch nobody. Everybody was dirty for me, and I went there, and she had cancer, and I washed her poop. She was in pain with blood clot. Every day I wanted to do it, because she was in pain with people. It even in their side, when they move, it was on the thighs. Apparently the cancer there, so she was in terrible pain, and I didn't want her to take the minimum pain. She died in peace. Pray the Lord the fastest, which happened at 6, the first hour. Not even the third day started of less water, almost no water, and almost no food before ice cream. And she grasped few hours like a fish out of water. And then it's the eyes, and the nurse thought she was asleep before, and thank God they didn't bother us. They went on strike the next day, and nobody even knock and say it's fine. Usually it happens. We had all the time God gave us. About 3 hours more when she stopped communicating and just breathing, and the last hour a bit stronger, just like the crucifixion, 3 hours. And that was the minimum. And of course, before there was the pain and the minimum injection, she had the minimum dose, nothing for the head. I'm proud of my little mother. I was never there. When I was there first, I came late because my brother stopped his medication. And he then said, "Yeah, come." Sends me 500. I came. He doesn't answer his phone because he doesn't take medication. So I came late, about 10 days. The nurse said, "I saw your mom when she came and she went down." So she couldn't move her legs, the clots, and all the pimples in the mouth, and she had a thing to breathe. And then I started touching her like never. I touched her with my hands, and trying to set her, as much as I could, comfort her. Then I looked people changing her and her screaming, and I started to learn how to do it and tell them to back off. They say we gotta change people every 20 minutes position too, and she was in pain. They didn't care, the legs over the legs. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't know her stuff, and I learned. The drugs, there were so much, like 8 and different kind, and people were entering sometimes 4 times in 10 minutes, but it's 24 hours. You got the cleaner, you got the PPE who change the people, they enter when they want, the nurse, the doctors, the cleaners, and you multiply this by 2 every team. And I stood there and I couldn't sleep, and I said, I have a headache myself. Imagine if I had cancer 4th stage and people do that to you. Oh man, it was terrible. This hospital, Lakeshore in Pointe Claire, Montreal, they're like 2-3 stars. They're like, well, that's how it is. I don't know other. And then my brother didn't want her back. No, nobody. He kicked me out after 2 days. I did nothing. I came, said, why are you not calling? After 14 hours, he tells me, what are you doing here dirty? Because I told him, why you don't paint your place 20 years, you know? I could have take care of her instead of trying for the last 4 or 5 times. Used to paint like 3-4 people. I can't do it no more. They were so cheap, both of them at the beginning. Excuse me, mom. I even, during COVID 2021, with the golf thing, buying at the same time paint to paint, and every time I did a bit and it was not paint 20 years, the preparation, there were crack everywhere. New house, now it's paid, it's worth 1 or 2 million, and my brother never visited after that. He kicked me out, he beat me up, I let myself beat. Take mom. I met with 5 doctors. Well, your brother doesn't want. Another said it's also for your mom. Yeah, but my brother, I think he has the bigger portion. Finally, no. And then they're like, well, palliative. Your mom signed at the back. But there they drug you automatically with a gun. And after 12 hours, I'm like, what is this? They did an average of her injection for pain, and they say, well, we'll give less, but continually. And it was like breathing, not responding. And I'm connecting with my mom for the first time. And I was like, what's going on? That's not how I want her to go, like a junkie and not responding me. Maybe kids who does that to their mom, and then they sit on a chair instead of a cheap chair at the hospital. Now I had a nice chair with a chef for her, for me, voluntary coffee all the time, the muffins, the nurse there will open her legs when we meet, with the pants, but still I had to back off. I was in a, not in a sort of a exorcist for survival, for my mom to come back. I was expecting also a miracle, and did she come back? A week at the hospital, they couldn't believe she was moving her legs. But then we stopped the anticoagulant, and they stopped it because my mom didn't want the pain, because after they inject it all the time, she was like, I disconnected 12 hours. I'm said sorry at 12 o'clock. I'm like, I'm not waiting this morning to talk about it. They could have said no. They came, the doctor, 3M said fine. I had to call several times. I'm like, no. She was like hyperventilating. And as soon as I took out the papillon and the automatic injector, and there's a little drop every 20 minutes that goes instead of a big injection, and it's less, but continually. And that, imagine if it's 3 weeks. They say, no, 3 months, everybody dies, even you. You don't have to have cancer. So they call this comfort. Well, I call this junkie, I'm sorry. And it's private, but it's besides the hospital. And the ambulance is, what are you doing for job, because a lot of people want to go there. But my mom thought it's comfort. My brother sold it to her. My brother is bipolar. He didn't took his meds. Beat me up. Bought a baseball bat. Almost swing at me half the way, but just punched me. I let myself punch for the first time in my life. Take mom back. They want, I'll clean her. They waiting for your answer. No, nobody's coming here, and it's her house. Then he started to tell that I want her money, and I think she had 100,000. And in fact, I don't know if he knew or not. I don't think so. unless the CLSC said something, do you know who's for the will of your mom? But we find out who, me and my mom, who's Romanian, who's this, because she didn't stop saying it, and I had to, because I was trying to bring the miracle and be on the same page, but she kept asking a paper and a crayon, and she couldn't write. And she said, I want to give him 50,000. One time when we changed, I said, Mom, stop, you're not gonna die. Then we find it, the guy says, well, you can't, you have to pass the exam of the head. But she was fine. That was before the palliative, when 2-3 days after the drug, we sent her back to the hospital with me. I was with her 24/7 after that. My brother, the second day, kicked me out, and it was kind of a jealous or something, feeling bad he didn't even come. And he didn't come 2-3 weeks until I told, well, she died, and made the doctor call and said, listen, you got an hour to see your mom dead, or it's the morgue, and he show up because maybe the money. And when I was there 1-2 days, he didn't come to the hospital. Just when I went from the airport, and guess what? He's like, he threw all her clothes out, her stuff, her food. I was like, you're doing this after? And he started to clean and not taking his meds, not sleeping for days and days on. I called friends to be able to bring her out. The friend says yes, 30 years friends, and then said no. They found an excuse, and I said, I'll tell the doctor. Said no. I said, no, I brought him by you. Tell her the truth. You don't want to take her, or you can. And my mom just shut down. We had less people. Nobody came. Only a neighbor I don't know came. That was worried for my brother, and police came. My brother sent the police there, and I was wanted for a fight. So if they would have arrested me, my mom would have nobody when she wakes up in pain to have a sip of water, or stop changing her 2-3 times for nothing. Then I had to change her only piss and less because the pain was too much. Dignity for her. Every time she wakes up, she was thirsty a little bit. Checking the meds, they don't take too much, having somebody. And he called the police, and my mom, God bless, because I was praying for a miracle in St. Andre in Montreal. And anyways, she woke up, she said, bring me fruits and vegetable. First time. And I went, and when I came up, I saw through the window the police were there. The doctor finally told me later that my brother called, said I wanted her home to kill her. But everybody knew that I was sleeping there 24 hours on a chair, refuse a bed, so I can hear her, refuse a stretcher next to her. So unless I'm too comfortable and I don't hear her saying, I'm thirsty. It was hard sometimes, Sometimes I remember one time she was, and I tried to wake up and I couldn't, because it was 24 hours or more. And it's 1 or 2 times like this in 3 weeks. Forgive me, Mom, but then as soon as I woke up, and I wouldn't wash me, I would wash her butt instead of my face first. I did everything, even after 4 years of staying the most clean I could outside and away of everybody, and changing at the least stuff and not working. I ended up doing this for her, that we were not on the same page. The first week before the palliative and the return in the hospital, which I was feeling more safe, they said, well, take the gun away. The palliative said, no, you want, what tells me you're not gonna put it back if I sign the paper for you to? It's private. And then even when he came, the same nurse with her legs says, no, your mother is not gonna sit down on a chair, she's staying in bed. But before we left the hospital, there was a good woman, Fatima, that says, enter on a Sunday and say, let's put your mom in a chair. And I was like, whoa, I thought it's 90 degrees, the legs, but no, that chair can go more. So we had to change her, and then didn't do it for 2 days because we were waiting the transfer. And then I couldn't put her on a chair no more. So I returned to the hospital, hoping for a miracle chair, returned somewhere home. If my brother comes to his sense, then he beats me again. I bring my luggage there and hide it, look like an idiot with beat up face suddenly after 14 hours staying there. I come back with Uber. Finally, I boost her car with the neighbor after my brother calls the police, and I could put my luggage there, change, maybe shower there. I'm not supposed in the hospital. The people on the third floor, are you back? Where are you? I thought you in palliative. No, the automatic injector. We're on the fourth. The doors are locked there, so after that I was scared when the police will come, because then I will be gone and my mom will die like this. So my brother was crazy. It was bad, man, in Montreal. It was bad, and it was real bad. Like, it's Shakespearean thing, like you could write. And even today he said, oh, my brother is here. No, and the doctor said that, 'cause she knows me. He says, okay, my brother is doing this for the money. I tried to come 10 times, but it's all an excuse. If a son wants to come and he doesn't like somebody, which he invited me and nothing happened. On the third day I came, he's like, what are you doing? Call me. I need an hour. Call me. I tried to call you 10 times. People too. He looks at his phone. He was not sleepy. He was moving stuff in the house, moving again, the same thing again. Washed the floor with maple syrup. He was gone. One time he put over the armory a book holding with the things you open to open the, the where you put stuff, but it's above the stove and the stove was up. If the book falls, I say, Chris, look, if the books just fall, the equilibrium is gonna cut fire. Oh yeah. He says, oh, I'm not here to help nobody, just kids. Talks about space and Elon Musk. Finally, the third day I wake up, he puts music on, but I'm not in my house, and I don't have energy. I go back in bed. After 2 days of this, I said, listen, there's not even noise in space. Go to sleep. Yeah, he went to sleep. I got him like that, and then that's when I came back after 14 hours the next day. What are you doing? Go away. And when I took my stuff, he charged me again. And that's when last time I visited 2 months ago, he started to be aggressive. He ripped my shirt, tried to swing. I said, sorry, Mom, I gotta go. This is getting worse and worse. And I just left. Bang, real fast. Didn't even look back. Next hour I was in the plane back to Vancouver, renting a new place. And then within 3 weeks this happened. We talked on the phone. She was doing better, and suddenly one time she shit on the thing and my brother didn't want her. Called the ambulance. CLSC came. He knew the woman. Apparently grabbed her and he said, I can't do it. Then when I arrived, he came with me late. I had to wait with him, and I'm like, I'm tired. I missed the airplane the first day. God told me, we're gonna warn you. I was praying in the wrong door and the plane went later, and I bought it with my last money because I'm writing a book. I don't care really about making money now. I want to share it for reputation. So the $250 for 2 weeks food. Bought a plane 200, but then my brother answered, so he sent that. I said 100, 200 to buy a luggage. I borrowed 200. A friend that I didn't see, an ex-employer for years in Toronto. And then I went there, and it's crazy. One time the police came back apparently because I heard the noise. Police came back twice this week, and I was like, Mom, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I called her. I told her that she couldn't move her arms barely, so they had to bring a phone, hold it, or it was terrible. Speaking another language, couldn't move her legs. If she needed a nurse, she couldn't press the button, but forget about it. She was not thinking that far. And she died really conscious, and we pray the divine mercy. I pray it, and she died. I was holding her head. She died. She was holding first. She died without shit. She stopped pooing 2-3 days because she was not eating for a week, just ice cream. So she cleaned herself, God bless her. I told her, back in the days, instead of just these atrocious experimental operation that are anti-God, doing the pancreas, removing organs, a third, and then you got a year or two to live, like, But the good part is that when I visit back, she said in those 2 years of suffering with self-medicated pain home and everything, and cancer come back and spread out, that's what happens with this cancer. She said, thank God, Jesus, that give me time to come back to him. And that's because if somebody condition himself to be away of God and then believe too much in the government or the science with it, the hospital, not the doctor of Dr. Jesus, well, they take an operation because they're scared and they don't have God, and then they find God later. So, but sometimes these kind of operations, so it happened not because it was because they started to have that operation, they were not ready. And I guess that's just a sign of the times we're living on. Doesn't mean nothing, it's the end that it counts. But it's, and then they keep you alive with medication of pain every hours, every long lasting home. Like, what is that? And people have to change in you, like when you shit, like, stop eating, man. If you can wipe yourself, why are you doing this to people? And just pray for a miracle if it happens. Yeah, if not, be at peace with your God. Maybe you're not ready, you don't know God, you're fighting for life, and that's good, because if you don't know God, you're looking for it, you're gonna hold on to your life even if you shit on the thing. But then she was at peace. I brought the priest, and thank God the priest came that night. And I woke her up at 6, from her 6 p.m. nap to the next day. I woke her up at 9, give her a little extra injection. The priest, finally Romanian, 2 Orthodox. In the meantime, I brought some Catholics from the thing. So she had confession even the night before, was a few hours before, was really good. She died clean, the minimum sufferance like I prayed, and in God's thing. So I'm happy. I'm happy. I had to stay there 3 weeks with somebody, my mom, that we didn't have a good relation, never. I had chronic pain. She didn't help me get out of it. It was an operation, crushed, and she never understood it, I guess. And that's what it is. And suddenly Judah, I won't say bad stuff because I promised my mom I'll take care of this guy's soul, this Christian that said. And my mom, the will, she started, and then after, and the guy on the will, oh, you gotta pass an exam. And by the way, after the palliative, she was nervous 2-3 days, because then in the meantime I'm taking off because I saw the cops, and then I come back. And she was thinking I disappeared, not because I got caught, but I left her. She said, you left me like the others. She got drugged constantly, so she didn't know what's going on. And people promise comfort, promise back home. Chris doesn't come. She didn't believe. She started disconnecting when my brother hung up. And she didn't want to believe he doesn't want her back. He leave with her for 20 years, all his life. So, and it's older than me, 45. Like, what's going on for her, And you're just getting drugged since you're there, weeks, days. Now it was a month. So she had 2-3 days in between the 2 hospitals, coming back, and from the 1-day palliative, and but then she didn't receive the head stuff, no more the head pills. And I'm like, no, she doesn't want pills, okay? We'll give her if she's in pain too much, but that's it. And no more papillon that she cannot know when they sleep and they just inject you. No, she wants to know, I want to know. And nothing in the head, because then she didn't want to get touched or doing stuff. It was painful, and they wrestle with you. Even if I leave for an hour doing the laundry, or leave for 5 minutes, one time they started to do injection 2-3 days before she died, even in the hands, extra blood. Doctors were Romanians. Go figure out, in a normal hospital. And you still getting bother. At the end, I canceled everything, even the mouthwash. I'm like, don't come back no more. And it kind of worked. But my mom wanted to live 100 years. Well, we're not on the same page. I didn't make money with my painting. I could have. Was the guy, and I lost my health because I tried to kill. Bottom line, guys, killing is the worst thing. You can, let's just put it that way. You can have all the blessings. You can be destined to be the greatest artist ever in multidisciplinary, even in the biggest art like painting and music. And if depression gets too long and I didn't know about Jesus and you want everything perfect and somebody messed that up and you want revenge on a blink of an eye in the night. And me had a operation and also I got hit there by that person that I tried, and it never came back, and it destroyed my vision, it destroyed my face, my pain, and it took me 3 operations and still today a bit discomfort, but the pain is gone for a year. So bottom line, it's a fall from grace. Just killing, it's really bad. There's prophets. I mean, I didn't know God, so God had mercy. Maybe it was like a challenge with God and the devil, and the Satan's face crushed by Eve meets a woman who did it. My ex. So basically, first ex. So basically, you see what happens is, and in 20 years, I never had the perspective back and the pain, of even when I started to do the. So anyway, so killing is a loss of grace. Even the prophets, the biggest guys like Moses or Elijah, they kill and they repented. They're like, no, God is not in a vengeance. And we got him revealed completely through Jesus Christ, the love, the compassion, and everything, And love is stronger than justice of God, but justice has to be there because it's the main rule. But if you cheat or you're weak, you still can beg for mercy, and God will do it if you really mean it. Because he's nice. That's it. And my mom got saved not by serving God but through mercy, and me, I'm gonna need it because some days I after with her, not the first week, maybe not the second, then I started just a bit. I had a dream or two. $30 made 200, then another 400. Dream or two, when the friend came and didn't want, I said the first time to another friend who didn't came, a family, Mario is the best. And then I had this dream that he was going from left to right and shrug his shoulder, and I said Anthony Hopkins. It was Anthony Hopkins, the best actor, and he shrugged his shoulder, and I said, it's the last time we saw him. He had a stroke. So Arizona Diamondback at that time already won one game. It was that day, and it was 1-1, and then all the rest, it was 2-1 for Rangers, and the Rangers won the other 2 or the 3 games. So after one, I didn't, and I knew the last ones were completely Rangers, 1 or 2. So, and Anthony Hopkins did a movie now. I don't know if it's about Jewish, kind of a Schindler List stuff, but it might be the last time we saw him in an Oscar, and then he might get nomination or win it, and he might die with a stroke too after that. So it might be the last time you see him, not only maybe in a movie, but at the Oscar at least, nomination or winning. And I said the greatest actor, and he's like shrugging his thing, and the guy had the same high as the friend of family. And I told him, I said, you know what, today I dreamed, because he came the next day after and he didn't want, and I said, I had a dream that it's gonna be the last time we saw him. And after that I tried to be nice, believe it, and he blocked my phone because I said maybe I'll take my mom and just go to Vancouver in her car and that's it. Or I said, why did you tell the doctor on the side, don't, like, I know I didn't do that. And I was nice. I tried to get comfort, and the guy, the people, everybody, I told my mom abandons you. And I said, don't be mad at Chris, he's not there, because I have Jesus. Jesus is there. So maybe he doesn't have Jesus, so he cannot be there. And the nurse told me a lot of people are not with their mom, parents. Only like 5 out of 20 rooms, they told me the first week, and it's people from other countries who more like traditional stuff. Oh, and I witnessed a guy in the night, a PPE guy that took her, the mother, and disgusting. Have care of your belongings, because there's crazy people who will do stuff and unimaginable stuff, to the point of throwing somebody down and they die after shortly. That will come back and started to eat, and even if you sleep next to it, you won't hear it. There are crazy people like this. And that's it. I mean, I could talk more about that, what happened, but maybe one day if I have time, I'll write a short novel about it. Mom, Emilia, I love you. Sorry for everything. Sorry for not have give you what I was meant to give. We didn't got along. I didn't got your support. Like the first week, she said, "We have to share in life. You know, we still have to share," because she didn't with me, and somebody came. What? It's love, yes. We still have to share. And she had only 100,000. The 10,000 got to 10 times the house now, and it's paid. So she wanted to give me 50,000. So she said, "I never thought it's you, so I didn't put you nothing that's gonna take care of me. I put Chris and a friend, stuff like that." And the notary fucking guy didn't came, and I didn't want money. But after a week, I'm like, the fairness of God kicked in, and I'm like, these piece of shit don't even come here once, and I'm changing her. Okay, I'll do it free even by paying, but it's not fair that they don't even come. They spit in her face, and they get their money that she work and save hard all her life as a waitress. And my brother doesn't need it because the house is paid. When he got like 5 times hospitalized, my mom was skipping payments. Not only that, she put the 10,000 payment, which now is 100,000. My brother paid the whole thing, which he has almost 2 millions now. It's paid, but he still won that 100,000. He started to say that I'm doing this for money. Can you believe that? Because he doesn't understand where I come from with Jesus, that I would do that even if I was not around at that time. And the worst part is that my mom used to buy all the food and the heating, stuff like that, for my brother, so it's not on paper, and cook for him and clean the house. So yeah, like a friend said, your whack brother. I do agree. He's a freaking fucking guy, but I told my mom I'll be nice, and I'm still having my mom in my heart. And on top of that, I went to a Marian shrine outside now, and they sold a place of gratitude in Toronto, 24 hours up. And the priest got healed at night like me, and then kicked me out. I was an hermit because somebody gave me $5. I cursed the place. They got sent after that. I'm not proud to say, in Brazil, then the place was empty. God forgive me. And then I should have preached downtown and sleep around there. Now they sold the place finally cheap, and they took the statue out and everything. They might be heritage and come back, but Padre Pio, when he died, said, I see 2 mothers. Me, I lost my mother. I went there, drove all the way in the car, my mom, and I went there to get some rest and safe, and one guy was there meeting with people at 8 to pray around, and said they locked stuff and they sold it 16 million underneath, not even giving chance the Basilian fathers to Catholic bought it in. Our only chance is this week. It's gonna be heritage, and we might have it back the place. So the statue got in a storage, and the stuff are throwing down outside, and trees not cutting, and like I was already grieving my mom, and this happened. Everything falls, so it's almost like I lost two mothers today. But it's not that at this point. But I'm still happy my mom. Then I got worried because I said it in French, Divine Mercy, and instead of saying I've been misericordious to us in French, kind of, I said have pity on us and on the whole world, and then I'm like, wow, one word, but it's mean the same. Is it okay? They will try one time to tell me, but it was more gambling that Emilia, my mom, maybe Edmonton is in hell, and I didn't believe it because that thing is there, and the Divine Mercy devotion, and I did it really, really, really 3 hours. I did it at the time of death, and there's no way. And then also when my mom died, I felt she told me something in the air, and then she said that she had to go. And more after that, she talked to me today nicely, and she told me in Romanian, which I don't really knew, but I looked the grammar. She said that she's sorry. When I was thinking about me, my case, she said I feel sorry. She was sorry. Maybe probably not leaving nothing, and maybe she understand where I come from, what I'm going through, and because I knew God, I guess, and saw him, my heart got blessed, and couldn't do otherwise. And as for my brother, I thought cursing him, like, and I'm like 1 year alive, and I heard 2 years. So then he didn't want it, and I'm like, listen, it's in the. I don't know if I said it's in the Bible, like long days if you're honoring your parents, but I said, it's in the Bible, and I said to him, you got 2 years or something. And you know what? They put in my dad in 2 days. In Ontario under the ground, and I got calls by police when I was there also, because it's 3-4 months he's in the morgue, and they want it, and the city did it for free, and now my brother, obviously they're gonna burn the body. On top of that, I say obviously because it's completely reversed, but at least he got saved, so can't complain about that. And I know so because of the promise of the Divine Mercy devotion. And that's about it. And I did dream. I kind of saw three stuff, and I said my side was the hurt, the other side was God. I see kind of a bridge, 1, 2, 3. The third one on the right, I heard like my mom was missing something, and I felt like that's why she couldn't stay here, neither going there. And then she died that same day. And I saw the water there. And I think this might be she was missing water or pancreas juice. They took a turn. And then I'm like, man, what did I said? No water, no thing. Is it a suicide? Is that but I told her that, so but the Divine Mercy is there, so so I gotta think good. But I was like started to doubt, but you know what's the point of you living in drugs instead of putting in the hands of God? Okay, you're not drinking water or no, but maybe she didn't have. What's the point of then shitting on people and then pain too much? So she couldn't take the pain no more. So maybe it's just an abandonment of God, and that's about it. So I guess that's how people were dying before. Even my dad died this year, and the LeBron James stuff. one of the dreams back in the years was after the massage stuff and the 6 came in order. I saw him like a day or two later, and I published it, but I edited it or not. And he opened a cigar box, or right after that, and I see 2 cigar boxes, and I say, "It can explode," and he closed it. When I said that, he looked at me and he closed it. One, he did smoke after he won the NBA a week or two later after that dream. Like, the first game was not starting. So this year it went left. Lakers should win again. And the Believe as the Exorcist. The Maple Leafs. So the freaking somebody here. The Maple Leafs. Well, it might be you. Listen to that woman. It's a different time in a different place. Okay, on the phone. And Maple Leaf today on YouTube, they say Believe. And then when this happened, there were 2 cigar. I'm like, 2 coughing. And then I'm like, not only I'm getting played, but I'm like, I'm not losing my mom like this if she's not ready. And that's when I flew, and I'm like, no way. I'm not gonna let my mom, to the devil. And a couple of days before, I was like, you don't want to say, you don't want to know what I was calling myself, but there's no way, man. There's no way my mom is going to hell. So, you can damage my face a bit, and with dots like I saw, and being her American pit bull with spots touching her, and wiping the shit, and no shower or barely. But it is what it is. I'm not young anymore, and though I was okay, I went to casino once, made 700 with a couple of days, and it's the book with white shoes, and then even the pit boss bow his head, and only aces and kings, and they hold up all. And I don't care much about poker because it's just for a break for the book. But in the meantime, I do call the wicked one, and it works. And then that was just a couple of days before. Crazy, huh? Anyways, that's about it. LeBron James, the second cigar should be this. Another one back in the days I did. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl with 2019, and Jake Fromm changed to a bathtub, and Bad Batty Young, and also what else? That's the guy who was gonna win, but then it changed. It was Joe Burrow and Barbie. I said it looks like Barbie, so the Barbie is this year. Barbie guy is the Lions, because then I said who's gonna win? The Lions, but the Lions were Kansas City. Okay. Kansas City. Why? But Keith says they like lying, making love. But then I'm like, and I remember I said to you guys, I don't understand why. And I prayed back then, and an arrow kind of a forming in the fog hit my forehead. It might not be in my channel first, because like I said, I locked myself out, and there's many video that they were in edit. Just I changed the title, and then I locked myself out, and I said about all these kind of sport and stuff. But now my book is like, forget about it. Started with dreams, but I got so many stuff now, like 6-7 techniques you don't even want to know. Like literally, like one is possession. So maybe greatest actor in me, I'm just leaving because I went to see my mom on the other side, and some people have access to it, even though I didn't publish. But that's another thing to discuss about it, man. This video is 15 minutes, and the other stuff that happened is LeBron James, my ex died, can explode. She died in 2021, and then my dad died this year. One coffin, one cigar, and my mom same year. May God have her soul. And then My dad had God, so that's good. Though he was a drunk. Can't blame people for everything, and that's about it. So the only one in danger right now is my brother, but guess he's not ready tomorrow, and he might never see this 50 minutes long video. Maybe one day it's gonna be watched if I get to be known again, publish this white paper, not the white cover on my mom saying I'm sorry like I'm Satanist or stuff like shit. But oh fuck, I saw the guy who makes pizza when I said this. I think I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna pass this Toronto Pizza Nova. Fortunately, mine was me good times. I might still wait here before going back. I might drop the car or not. Oh man, I've been through, it was a long dream, 3 weeks, but it was a week. Got transferred. God damn that guy, man. Anyways, we're gonna keep positive. I promise my mom I'll bring him to heaven somehow. The worst part is that with all this, my brother falls down now, I'll do it for him too. Just because I've won, and I know that in the future, if I go to heaven, even though he did all this, and a friend said he should die, and did this to my mom and to me, and then I know he's wrong, and then if you're right, you still want it to heaven for eternity, because it's eternity, and so you want everybody to be happy, because then it cannot just be a little punishment. It has to be completely punishment or completely good. So you're like, okay, completely good, and that's about it. I hope so. There's many more to talk, but it went left. Let's say leaves, believe, exorcist movie, 2 cigars, okay, maybe Lakers times 13 odds, Maple Leaf, I don't know, and oh yeah, the Barbie guy, that's the Lions, I heard to not say it, and who was the other guy that maybe the Jets, so maybe they were gonna win their conference. That's a big chunk of 63 odds, but I think today they might have lost against the Charger, but they still in good position, like 50-50. They'll play the playoffs. I heard to not say that one, but I'm sorry I said it. Forgive me, God. If I'm right, everybody should love me. All right, I'll be like not working for Vegas, but I'll be more maybe quiet, not like Roxy Roxborough that's coming from Vancouver, where I am now. Right, and finishing this book, right, that I talk a bit online, but I never met, sort of, and I pray in different tongue, and I cursed the guy. I said, you're gonna die in a year, dink, and I feel sorry. Palliative. Bruce Willis played him. Bruce Willis after that got sick too. Then I pray, curse the queen. I'm not saying she died not of old age, but 2 months later. I think it's the only ones. And yeah, my mom, I did one time, like a year. She put the chip there. I wanted to do last October, the book. And when it's cooked, don't put it down, and I couldn't breathe no more. And then I went to the store and I explained, and the store 24 hours was closed that day. God damn. So I couldn't work no more, and somebody stopped me from working. But there was not such a thing, because I was in the woods and always on the go and be able to work. Nobody stopping you there. So it's years and it's accumulated, and I was like, you know what, it's a long time you're doing that kind of stuff, and we cannot be what we want and me. And I'm like, I postponed the curse, but it was just the beginning that I was cursing everybody, and I don't know where this one goes, and I didn't. I remember the dream after that, I said, about the Timberlands, not the Timberwolves. My mom, Minnesota. I said I couldn't sacrifice her. She had a big mouth, but you know, and that's what happens, man. That's what happens. Many more. It's like this not every day, but almost maybe. So wish me luck. Nobody has time to talk about this stuff for an hour or watch somebody talk about it. So I have to do a concise book with some example for now. It's a scientific book, and I'm not even adding science to it much, like, or goddamn occult stuff. All right, to save my mom, so I gotta celebrate and wish I had become a priest. And it might not be too late, so I'll make a decision or whatever. Adios for now.